Hello friends, Tom Downey here for Chat Sports. NBA free agency is rapidly approaching, so let's take a look at where one of the best players set to hit the market, Kawhi Leonard, could end up. Now, of course, he's led the Raptors to the NBA Finals, but is that enough to get him to stay in Toronto? Now, yes, the Raptors can offer Kawhi more on his next contract. Of course, as we saw with the San Antonio situation, that didn't seem to matter that much to Kawhi. Now, he's long been connected to LA, both the Clippers and the Lakers, and there will obviously be plenty of interest in Kawhi if he does decide to explore the open market and decides not to stick in Toronto, where he did reportedly just buy some new property. And of course, on the court, well, there's no doubt he's one of the best players in the NBA. A true two-way small forward who can guard really from the 4 to the 1. Fantastic defender, shoots well, has almost the ho-hum, oh yeah, I've got 25 points in this matchup there. And yes, he was not great in 2017, 2018, in large part because of that leg injury that bothered him for so long. But the past 2 years, not including, of course, that 17-18 campaign, Kawhi's been without a doubt one of the best players in the NBA. So of course whatever team signs him is going to offer him the max contract unless he does one of the weird Kevin Durant things and take less money, which I don't really see happening. So we will take you through the top 5 destinations for Kawhi Leonard, and for me at least I think there's a pretty clear top 4, and we'll get into those. But first I want to remind you guys to subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll get that link up for you guys below. Live NBA draft and free agency coverage on Chat Sports, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We are your one-stop shop for all the NBA coverage you need this offseason. Let's move then to number 5, which is no doubt a dark horse, and just bear with me for a second before you turn it off. Now, yes, the Rockets have no money, and yes, they have to get really creative in this deal, but Daryl Morey is always very aggressive. And if there was a way in which he could add Kawhi and keep James Harden, I think he'd explore every possible route to pull that off. Now, in order to make this work from a purely monetary perspective, the Rockets would have to deal Chris Paul and one of Eric Gordon or Clint Capella. So here's a possible Rockets lineup, and frankly, I kept Eric Gordon and moved Capella because A, I don't know how much Chris Paul and his $38.5 million cap hit, how much value he has, and I think you might have to include Capella to make that pull off. Either way, this frees up just enough money to add Kawhi Leonard, and then with no draft picks, at least for now, the Rockets would have to find a way to fill out the rest of the roster with cheap veterans who would be the ring chasers that the Golden State Warriors filled their roster out for so many years. So yes, it's no doubt a long shot, and it's highly unlikely, but I just want to include the Rockets as a fun, sleeper, dark horse alternative candidate from one you probably haven't seen elsewhere. So Rockets fans, let me know. Would you trade Chris Paul and Clint Capella in order to obtain Kawhi Leonard? Let me know in the comment section. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Houston, I think they're kind of getting a bit antsy after back-to-back years of coming so close and yet still somehow so far away from beating the Golden State Warriors. Maybe that type of switch is just what they need. Let's move then to number 4, the Brooklyn Nets, who, in terms of recent history, have been garbage. But as of late, namely this past season, the Nets started to turn around their franchise, and they're aiming very high this offseason, links to Durant and Irving, and yes, Kawhi Leonard. Now, yes, the Nets are a long shot for sure, but they do have the cap space to pull this off, and frankly, this would be a pretty fun and good basketball team. And look, they made the playoffs last year, just above 500. I would assume they'll re-sign D'Angelo Russell. Of course, he is a restricted free agent. You bring in Kawhi, and then you've got a lot of intriguing other options. You got Jared Allen as your big man. You have Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, other guys you can maybe re-sign as well. I didn't want to include too many free agents because, well, you know, free agency and all that. So for the Nets, all of a sudden, D'Lo, Kawhi, a young Jared Allen, and a bunch of good shooters around that core, well, that's a pretty damn good team right there. So for Brooklyn, again, they're only 4th on this list. They'd be a pretty good fit, though, for Kawhi, although I don't know if he's really that focused. In reality, I think there are 3 teams that make a little bit more sense here. At number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers. So A, make sure you guys are subscribed to our Lakers channel for all you LA fans out there, youtube.com/LakersTV. And of course, LA has long targeted Kawhi Leonard because, well, why wouldn't they? Problem is, how to put this delicately, the franchise is kind of in a weird space. Magic Johnson leaves. The roster was built terribly this past year. There's a lot of confusion as to what they're going to do long term. They have the money, though, and if they want to pull it off, it gets a little weird because they got a lot of long forwards, but this would be a fantastic team. Imagine LeBron James and Kawhi on the same team. That's such a fantastic 1-2 punch in the NBA. You have Lonzo Ball, who will play that distributor role so well. Of course, he's still with the ball in LeBron and Kawhi's hands. That's fine. I'll list Brandon Ingram there as your starter. I mean, I guess don't read too much into that because you can play Josh Hart if you want to have him as the starting shooting guard. I'll put JaVale as the center, who is a free agent, but I didn't want to put Wagner in there, so I guess you're welcome, LA fans. And you also have Kyle Kuzma come off the bench, unless, of course, they are dealt for Anthony Davis. But for the Lakers, if you can pull off Kawhi, I think you do it in a heartbeat. Problem is, I don't know if Lakers are the top team in Los Angeles for Kawhi Leonard. I've got the Clippers coming in at number 2 on my list in terms of most likely. Now, again, the Clippers need to clear some cap holds like Wilson Chandler, as so many teams do, but that's just a matter of formality. Frankly, it's not like you have to trade him away. You just renounce the cap hold. And the Clippers have already been fined for, I guess, tampering in quotes for Kawhi Leonard over what Doc Rivers said recently about him. And the Raptors have not liked the Clippers' apparent obvious interest in Kawhi Leonard. Now, there have been reports that Kawhi wants to play in LA, conflicting as to which franchise there. And for this situation, Kawhi would get to go to LA and be the face of a franchise. And frankly, this is a pretty good unit. I'm a big fan of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Landry Shamet can play that shooting guard role pretty well. You have Gallinari. They got Ivica Zubac for free. And then Kawhi comes in as that true superstar, which the Clippers do not have right now. They got plenty of good role players, some good secondary and tertiary options there, but there is no superstar. Kawhi would instantly be that guy for the Clippers, and he'd be a great fit, I think, in that organization. And oh, by the way, never discount the power of Jerry West. Now, question for everyone watching. Which Los Angeles team is the better free agency destination? Type C for the Clippers and L for the Lakers. If you had asked me this 5 months ago, maybe pre-Anthony Davis trade talks, would have been obvious Lakers. And then the Clippers kept finding ways to win games, which the Lakers did not do, by the way, and it made it more of a debate. I still am going to lean with the Lakers, despite the franchise dysfunction, but the Clippers have at least made it an argument as let me know what you guys think in the comments section. And finally, at number 1, it is the Toronto Raptors. Now, if you had asked me this, even 6 months ago or when the trade first happened, I thought he was going to leave. I did not think Kawhi was going to hang out in Toronto for more than a year and then would go to LA or wherever. But this is a team that just made the NBA Finals, and they can pay him more money. And it wasn't really a fluke. This is a good Toronto Raptors squad. It's a talented team that should look very similar to the one we saw last year. Now, sure, Green and Gasol can leave if they want, but would they want to if Kawhi stays? Like, that's still the same core. And then most importantly, maybe more important than any one thing about Toronto, of course, maybe beside the winning and the money, has been the emergence of Pascal Siakam. That gives the Raptors a legitimate secondary, maybe not full-on star yet, but becoming a star. Kyle Lowry maybe declining a little bit, Siakam on the way up. It is tough to leave an NBA team that literally just made the NBA Finals. That's not easy to do. I mean, I guess LeBron James is the rare exception there, but is Kawhi just like LeBron? Does he want to go to LA for more than just basketball? Because think about it this way. If you're Kawhi and you really want to win games, doesn't Toronto present the best opportunity to win a title right now of the teams we discussed? It's more likely than the Clippers and the Lakers, who both play out in the West. And frankly, take Kawhi off both these teams, I think Toronto would have still made the playoffs last year. Now, maybe you can make an argument for like the Brooklyn Nets, but wouldn't you just rather stay in Toronto at that point? And Houston, of course, they're kind of the wild card there. I think Toronto still makes the most sense for Kawhi Leonard. Now, those are our top 5 there. Houston 5, Brooklyn 4, the LA teams 3 and 2, and Toronto at number 1. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What team will end up signing Kawhi Leonard? Let me know in the comment section who you've got heading, or what team you think will sign Kawhi this NBA offseason. A bunch of different options there. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube as well. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. That is the best spot for all the NBA coverage you need this offseason.